With former President Trump reeling in a record $50.5 million at a fundraiser in Palm Beach last night.
That's nearly double the amount President Biden raised at his New York City event alongside President Obama and Clinton over a week ago. I think it might be
pretty close.
The greatest number ever raised.
26
right?
was the record. Now this
is, right?
Madeline Rivera joins us with more from Washington. Hey, Madeline.
Hey, guys. Yeah, you're right, Rachel. The Trump campaign says this is the largest fundraising haul in history for a Republican or Democrat. A spokesperson for his team saying it took 3 Democrat presidents to raise $25 million and 1 president to raise over $50 million, Donald J. Trump. Trump is expected to hold another high-dollar fundraiser in Atlanta this week.
That was a huge haul for the president. And, you know, it's so interesting. He breaks records at every turn. Think about the primary. Every record he broke during, those primary elections that everyone's thought, maybe he might, have some trouble. Oh, no, not just clearing the hurdle, but clearing it with a record. And then you see him do that again tonight, which shows not just that the party is coalescing, but I think there's a lot of enthusiasm behind him as well.
It's a big deal. 3 presidents together in New York City raised $26 million, and President Trump alone raised $50 million. The race is on.
Wow. It's on all right. Do you remember not too long ago when Dementia Joe, Obama, and Wild Boy Billy went to New York City to raise some money? They set a record by raising a whopping $25 million in one single night. Well, yeah, that record lasted 1 week, thanks to Donald Trump. In fact, that record got crushed by Donald Trump.
Obama and Bill Clinton joining President Biden in a who's who of special guests tonight, reportedly raising $25 million.
$25 million. $25 million.
$25 million. $25 million.
Historic $25 million haul.
The most successful political fundraiser in American history.
1 week later,
Dementia Joe needed to go to Radio City Music Hall to raise his money. He needed not 1, but 2 ex-presidents, Stephen Colbert, Queen Latifah, and oh yeah, Lizzo, to help him raise some money. And never ever forget that while Joe Biden was at Radio City Music Hall, laughing it up with stars and raising money with billionaires, Donald Trump was at the wake and funeral of a New York police officer, a murdered New York police officer. Never forget that. Donald Trump was invited and showed up to show his condolences to the family. Biden, nope, he's hanging out with Lizzo. Well, last night, Donald Trump showed he doesn't need all the glitz and stars. He can do it on his own with a few friends. He didn't need Colbert, and he definitely didn't need Lizzo. He just had a few friends over for dinner and raised a whopping $50 million. He nearly doubled what Poo Poo Diaper Joe raised up in New York City. Here's a statement that Trump made at the event.
People are just wanting change. Rich people want it, poor people want it, everybody wants change. Our country is really doing poorly. We're a laughing stock all over the world, and we're going to get that change very quickly. And this has been some incredible evening before it even starts, because people, they wanted to contribute to a cause of making America great again, and that's what's happened. We're going to make America great again. Everyone knows it. The election's going to be in now a little more than 6 months, and it's going to be the most important, I believe, election we've ever had. I think it's going to go down as the most important date in the history of our country. That's November 5th, will be the most important date in the history of our country. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here.
Notice how he included the full spectrum of Americans. He said rich people want change. He said poor people want change. You see, rich people are tired of being demonized by Biden and the left. They are completely over the hypocrisy. Biden, Obama, the Clintons, and the rest of them are all rich insiders, veritable crooks, scammers who have never built or run anything. They wouldn't know the first thing about managing and operating a business. Yet somehow these people who are worth hundreds of millions of dollars villainize other rich people. Check out the hypocrisy in this statement.
A senior Biden campaign spokesperson says this about Trump's event. If you want to know who Donald Trump will fight for in his second term, just look at who he is having over for dinner Saturday night. Tax avoiders, scammers, racists, and extremists. Make no mistake, Donald Trump will do the bidding of his billionaires' buddies instead of what is best for the American people. He'll take their checks and cut their taxes and leave hardworking Americans behind, gutting Social Security and Medicare, ripping away health care protections, and banning abortion.
I think it stands in stark contrast to the lack of fundraising that you see out of the Trump campaign. But as important is how they are raising it. He's down in Mar-a-Lago tonight with a bunch of billionaires, people like John Paulson, who not only wants to cut Social Security, but he's famous for, as a hedge funder, rooting against the American economy, betting against the American economy. So I guess it's no surprise that he's investing in somebody like Donald Trump, who's rooting for the economy to crash. But the whole lot of them is a bunch of billionaires, scammers, extremists, and racists.
Who does Joe think were the people up in New York who were cutting checks for him? And just how stupid do his followers have to be not to understand the blatant gaslighting that's being done on them? And on the other side of the coin, in dealing with poor people, every 4 years they trot out the same message. Vote for us so we can take care of you. You need the government to take care of you. That government cheese has to keep coming because those evil rich people, they're making money, but we'll take care of you. They are promised crumbs from cradle to the grave if they just keep believing the lie. It just might happen this time. You remember Obama's campaign slogan? It was called Hope and Change. Biden's slogan was Build Back Better. Obama sold poor people a dream, hopium. The only people that realized the dream under Obama was he and his wife. And then with Biden, he embraced the socialistic slogan of Build Back Better. But people didn't see what was coming. What he expected was hardworking Americans and poor Americans to understand we need to build Ukraine back better and also build back up illegal immigrants. Those are the people who need your money and my attention. He certainly isn't focusing on Americans, rich or poor. Listen to this drivel that Joe Biden said when he found out that Donald Trump was having a big fundraiser in Palm Beach, and tell me if it focuses on anything that matters to your life.
Folks, you know, Trump is down in Florida today, raising money from a bunch of hedge fund billionaires.
Pretty much the same thing you did in New York City.
Want him to cut Social Security and Medicare and their taxes.
I'm pretty sure nobody has told anybody that they want to cut Social Security and Medicare. Hasn't happened. Old-faced lie. Taxes? Yeah, taxes should be cut.
So I figure there's no better day than today to tell you that in the first quarter of this year, we raised $185 million.
What does that matter to me that you raised $185 million? Why do I care?
Our campaign now has 1.6 million individual donors, and more than 500,000 of those donors are brand new since 2020.
Why does that matter to me? Why does it matter to me that people are giving you money? I don't understand. How does that make my life better that people are giving you money? That's up to them. It's their money, right?
This campaign is Scranton versus Palm Beach.
This campaign is Scranton versus Palm Beach. It's me, Joe, you know, the working class guy who's never worked a day in his life, who's been in the Senate for 47 years. Me, Joe, I'm a Scranton guy. How do people believe this drivel? How do people continue to let this guy appropriate anything that he wants to say? Just yesterday or 2 days ago, he was telling us how his family helped build the bridge in Baltimore. It's amazing. We understand you're demented, but at some point, you guys have got to realize this guy's just full of crap.
This is a grassroots campaign of nurses and...
Grassroots? It cost $500,000 to get into Radio City Music Hall. It cost $100,000 to take a picture with you. Not sure why anybody would want that, but how is that grassroots?
Teachers and firefighters and cops.
You sure about that? Maybe the teachers, because we've seen how in the tank they are and how wacky they are. But you're telling me that firefighters and cops, for the most part, want to get behind a guy who embraced defunding police and who didn't show up for the wake or the funeral of a murdered cop based upon your administration's insane policies of letting people go? You sure you've got the support of firefighters and cops? I call bullshit.
Versus Donald Trump and a couple billionaires looking for a tax cut. Real people who know the stakes of this election and are rolling up their sleeve to pitch in what they can. You're making a real difference, folks. Thank you.
Real people who understand the stakes.
I appreciate everything you're doing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
What the hell was that? Give me money because rich people are bad, even though I'm rich. And the other rich people up in New York City supported me, but the rich people who supported Donald Trump are bad. This dude just cozied up with all the wealthy people on Park Avenue, but wants to somehow say that those same people who live in Park Avenue, who have homes on Palm Beach, are all of a sudden not the same people. Now, they may not be double dipping and giving Biden money and Trump money, but it's the same people. When I say the demographic, people on Park Avenue who own homes in Palm Beach, who are friends with other billionaires, it's all the same pot. That's not the problem. The problem is what they're supporting. Joe Biden is absolutely shamelessly gaslighting people. By certain societal standards, I've been poor and I've been rich. But wherever I stood in life, in any particular moment in time, I never looked to the government to take care of me. Some of you know my story. My father and his brothers came from Jamaica through the front door and built an amazing construction company in Connecticut. But what you may not know is he got his initial funding from a Jewish chicken farmer in Connecticut. Think about what I just said. A legal immigrant got his initial funding for a construction company from a white Jewish chicken farmer in Connecticut. An older white entrepreneur took a shot at a young legal immigrant from Jamaica. My dad, a legal immigrant from Jamaica, saw an opportunity, found an investor, and created individual prosperity. He created individual wealth for his family. People often ask, when was America great? If my father was still here today, he'd tell you, it was great. Donald Trump's slogan isn't about giving you hope. And it's certainly not about giving money to a country that you can't even find on a map. Trump's slogan is about opportunity. Last night, donors in Palm Beach wanted to contribute to the cause of making America great again. People donated for cheaper gas for you. People donated for better housing prices for you. People donated for cheaper grocery prices for you. And people donated to help build up a military so your family could be safer. And of course, they donated for a better tax rate and a better business environment so they in turn could prosper as well. Don't you see? That's how it works. That's how it's supposed to work. For decades, we've heard the left keep saying about trickle-down economics doesn't work for the common person. Fine. I don't want trickle-down economics. That's why the rhinos out there are having a problem as well, because people don't want to buy into this trickle-down theory. They've both been lying to you. A trickle-down effect is an illusion. Just picture yourself. It's like you being on your knees, hoping that a few raindrops fall into your mouth. They want you to think that people like you and me want to live an Oliver Twist type existence.
Please, sir, I want some more.
What?
Please, sir, I want some more.
More?
Hopefully you get that reference and have seen that movie. But basically, you don't want some more. You're not looking for somebody to dole it out to you. You want to be able to get out there and get it yourself. I know for my daughter and my grandchildren, I don't want no trickle-down effect working for them. I don't want them extended looking for crumbs for somebody to put something in their bowl. I want them drinking from a fire hose of opportunity. I just want a government that affords them the opportunity to do what they want to do. There's an old saying out there that I'm sure you've heard. It says, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish and he feeds himself for a lifetime. The left, they want to be the ones out there handing out sardines, and they've done it for decades. It keeps the poor constantly waiting for more. And the problem is too many people have gotten used to that. But for those of us who learned how to fish, we don't depend, nor do we want to depend, on government crumbs. We've been taught and we've learned how to spot opportunity. They keep trying to brainwash people that looking for opportunity is bad, and they keep trying to demonize that mindset that people are beginning to say more and more, let's make America great again. Is it wrong to incentivize self-sufficiency? Is it wrong to allow for the development of individual prosperity? I don't think so, because that's how you make America great again. Let me ask you a serious question, and hopefully you can leave me an honest comment with your answer. When was the last time you've heard anyone, and I mean anyone on the left, talking about developing individual prosperity? Have you ever heard, and I do mean ever heard, anyone on the left talking about America being prosperous down to the individual? They talk about race, they talk about gender, they talk about abortion, and they talk and they talk and they talk. But when was the last time you've heard any of them talk about helping Americans prosper? Not get by, not get by. When have you heard anyone on the left talk about Americans being given the opportunity, being shown the opportunity to prosper? I challenge you. I mean, I absolutely challenge you to ask yourself why they haven't done that. Seriously, if you've made it this far in the video, please give me an answer to that question. I'd love to read some of your comments and tell me why they never ever promote the development of individual prosperity. Why is that? Talk to you soon.